Hey everyone, MeltingMan234 here, greeting you all with Christmas cheer. This is Forgotten Media, a series where I love to dig up stuff you may or may not have heard of. We all know people love Christmas a lot, but a certain resident on Mount Crumpet does not. Yes, I'm talking about the Grinch. A mean one he is. He's so popular that you might see him on a Christmas pop quiz. And what perfect timing, you might ask, how? Because the live-action Grinch film is 25 now. Indeed, the 25th anniversary. Did you hear? It came out in 2000. What a year. It might be of mixed quality, some like it and some don't. What I hate on this film, I probably won't. Jim Carrey is a riot, and Where Are You Christmas is nice, even if most of the Who's look like mutated mice. I'm fine with this movie. It's a film I don't mind viewing, even the extended TV cut. That was something. The film must have done well and was popular enough to spawn so much merchandising and lots of other stuff. Back then, Grinch toys and Grinch action figures were all the rage. I had a few myself when I was at a young age. And of course there were video games. Some expect them to be fun. A Game Boy Color title, and the other on PS1. They're kind of well known for different reasons, you might say, but we're not going to be talking about those today. We'll be looking at a game called How the Grinch Stole Christmas, made in 2007 for the Nintendo DS. It seems rather odd for a game released this late, but we'll see if this game's worth the joy or the hate. As you would expect, you play as the Grinch, who wants to make sure Christmas is ruined in a cinch, stealing presents, decorations, and other things for the trash, and yet for some reason the game has no who hash. But what's even more strange is the look of this game. Something feels off. Who's to blame? The backgrounds look familiar. I know where they're from. It's the classic Grinch cartoon, but there's more confusion to come. On the box art and certain scenes that feature old Greenface are from official 2000 Grinch merch. That's the case. The Grinch in this game has found a new passion, to dress in lederhosen instead of festive fashion. I get that it's a movie reference, but it leaves me scratching my head. Everyone knows he stole Christmas while dressed up in red. Even the game's opening mentions this detail. This contradiction really is an epic fail. My curiosity for this oddity caused me to plunge to an online website simply called Sponge. They featured screenshots that were most likely from an early version later changed, which made me feel glum. A game that was a more faithful look to the classic cartoon. Perhaps these were made in the month of June. You move slowly around to steal Christmas away, but no help from Max? Guess he was sick that day. You just need to swipe a certain amount of presents to move on to the next level and make the Who's look like peasants. Speaking of which, there are 4 enemy types. Despite what's going on, they have no gripes. Take enemy number 1, we'll just call him Fred, a man who doesn't care for what lies ahead. Watching you steal presents in front of me is just fine. As long as you don't touch me, I won't whine. Next we have a sleepwalker who also wears glasses. The most annoying thing about them is that they're slow as molasses. These Who's are tucked in, all snug in their beds, but they suffer from insomnia, which is not good for their heads. Much like Fred, they don't care if they happen to see a creepy green creature, or whatever he may be. Just don't get too close when they awake from their slumber. And no, you can't steal their treat and replace it with a cucumber. Of course this game wouldn't be complete without Cindy Lou, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. She comes out of a small door, you can tell by the sound, of the annoying yawning that can be heard all around. If you are hit by Fred, or the ones lying in bed, you will take damage. 3 hits and you're dead. Back to the beginning where your journey began, back when the Grinch started his master plan. At least you don't lose progress when going back to start. Unlike the Grinch at this point, the game has a big heart. You can go back and steal stuff that you missed on the first try, or make a mad dash to the exit. No need to be shy. As for the other Who's, getting caught by them will cause a minigame to begin, and will make the game pause. That's when the touchscreen will come into play, which was a common thing to do back in the day. The minigames are real easy and kinda bleak. This one here, all you do is sneak, sneak, sneak. The next one you deal with sleepwalkers, those darn sleepy heads. A simple tap of the stylus will send them back to their beds. There was going to be a third one, looks like a matching game, but it was cut before release. What a shame. If you're successful at these minigames, you avoid taking a hit, and you'll be invincible, but only for a short bit. For the rest of the game, the music doesn't have much variety. The same track over and over may trigger one's sanity. You can't steal many things with one swipe at the sack. Only one at a time? The game developers were smoking crack. Hiding in hallways and chimneys can be helpful to stay alive. Even stairs are considered safe. That's something to thrive. Despite the requirements, I went the extra mile to steal everything in every level. I'm so vile. 7 levels later, I stole everything that could glow. And now that I'm done, up the chimney I go. The ending plays out, and just like the tale, the Who's still sing with cheer instead of a wail. Wait, that's it? That was the end? This kind of ending I can't comprehend. Where's the Grinch's redemption? Ending with a smile and not a sneer. I guess that ending doesn't happen here. I tried a higher difficulty, and to my surprise, I'll tell you what it is, so you don't have to surmise. It's the exact same game, nothing different or new. Additional enemies or minigames? Nope. Boo! Well, I suppose now there's a time limit. That's a bit of a change. And to move on, the requirements are at a higher range. Another go and I unlock more of the ending. But there's still one more difficulty. Guess I'll keep gaming. Now I need all the presents? That's hardly a clue. I've been doing that already. That's nothing new. Oh yeah, forgot to mention one more detail. And don't worry, this news won't make you turn pale. Whether it's medium or hard, the minigames become faster. Even so, they are still simple to master. 3 times the charm, as they say, as the rest of the ending begins to play. And what's your reward for your final completion? Hopefully something that doesn't cause the game's deletion. You can rewatch the extended ending. That is legit. 100% for this? What a piece of shit. And that's the end of this game. There's no more to tell. What are my final thoughts on it? Well, it's a game that can get tedious. There's not much to do. At least the amount of levels is less than 22. The touchscreen is rarely used, not given much of a chance. The game might as well be made for the Game Boy Advance. It's a very average title on the Nintendo DS. A simple game with simple gameplay, I guess. At the end of the day, I don't think people would care. Just another title in the category of shovelware. Even with the Grinch's image, this title is lame. You're better off playing a much better game. Nowadays, prices vary, mostly on the cheap. Just don't try and buy it from some trenchcoat wearing creep. In closing, the Grinch DS game is a time waster at best. But I call it Game of the Year material? Surely you jest. Well, that's the end of this episode, no doubt. So this is Melting Man 234 signing out.